This video will contain spoilers. Warfare, universally positive ratings. I watched it in cinema with my dad. Directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland, starring Will Poulter, Joseph Quinn, Michael Gandolfini, DeFaro Win Atai. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I said in my video where I did the trailers for One Battle After Another and 28 years later that because of Civil War, I don't trust Alex Garland. I haven't seen Civil War, but Civil War, based on the trailer, looks like it has an agenda to it. And when it came to this film, the trailer didn't look like it had an agenda to it. It just looked like a war film. Hell, I'd go as far as say it looked like the best war film since American Sniper, which isn't saying much because the only films we've had since American Sniper are, I don't know if Fury came out before or after. I know they both came out in the same year, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Dunkirk, which it's Christopher Nolan's weakest film. It's very, very fucking forgettable. 1917, which very forgettable, and All Quiet on the Western Front, which I have not seen. But Alex Garland said that he promises that the film does not have an agenda to it, which seems very suspicious. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where if you say, I swear I don't, it can't, really what you're saying is, I swear I do. So, does this film have an agenda to it? No. He didn't need to fucking say that. The only reason why I think he would have to say that is because he knows that he has a reputation of having an agenda. I find it weird that A24 made a war film. And I think the fact that it's A24 is the reason why the nothing much happens. Like, it's real time. It's only an hour and a half long. And all that happens is that they take over a civilian's house to use as, like, just a wee base. Eventually, they get fired upon. They ask for extraction. They get approved. The tank thing that extracts them comes, but it gets blown up. In the explosion, Joseph Quinn and another guy get injured. So they go back to the house, wait for extraction again. Eventually it comes, and that's it. It sounds very boring, but to me, like, going into it expecting not much because it's an A24 film, what I mean by not much is that it's not going to be an action film or anything like that. It's just going to be very simplistic. Like, if you go with right expectations, you won't be disappointed. It is quite a good film, and I would say it is the best war film since American Sniper. I don't think it's as good as American Sniper, but you're going up against a Clint Eastwood film. I get that this was made by an actual veteran who was there. Like, this is all based on memory, as it says in the trailer and the film. But, Clint Eastwood's the GOAT. Usually with war films, I can't recognize anyone because I don't know if it's because usually these people will have longer hair, but they have to shave it quite short, if not go completely bald, because they're playing someone in the army, and or they're wearing matching outfits. But usually when there's a celebrity in a war movie, I do not recognize them. But for this, I did recognize Joseph Quinn, uh, Ray Nicholson, not fucking Ray Nicholson, Michael Gandolfini, and Will Poulter. Um, when I seen Drop with Ginger, the trailer for this played, and I said, "Right, have you seen this?" No. Okay, watch this. This looks really good. And he was watching it, and it's it's a really fucking good trailer. But then he sees Joseph Quinn, he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" I was like, "What? You don't like Joseph Quinn?" And I don't know why he doesn't like Joseph Quinn, but he doesn't. And he doesn't do much until the part where the tank blows up. Once the tank blows up, excuse me, it's all distorted because he's in shock and stuff like that. And he notices that his legs are on fire, and he spilled a lot of blood. He's going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," which maybe that's what it's like when you're in shock. You don't have the emotion, you just have the language. But if that's not the case, then it's just him not being that good of an actor. But then one of the other characters drags him to cover, and I am impressed and jealous of how much and how loudly he was able to scream. Like he he did volume, like it was very loud. It lasted a long time, and his voice didn't go like hoarse, hearse, whatever the fucking word is after. I'm impressed and jealous because I can't do that. I don't have the lung capacity for it, and also my throat just like I will sound like an old woman if I even speak anything above this, and I constantly clear my throat. But like that is a case of good acting, being able to do that. I said the same when I seen Immaculate, because Sydney Sweeney had that scene where she gave birth and she's screaming constantly for like 2 minutes straight, and it doesn't cut away or anything like that. This does, so it could be that he's taking a break, but even then, if it were me doing this, I would need to take breaks constantly. I know they would have to be long breaks in order for my throat to recover. This was shot in just 5 weeks. Taking a drink. Ah, great hiccups. Um, one of the scenes in the trailer is of all the characters, uh, sort of jumping up and down, and they're looking at something, but you can't see what it is they're looking at, and it's actually the very first scene in the film. They're looking at the music video for that song, "Call on Me," which I thought that was really funny. I think that's a really good scene. Um, and I actually found out like 5 minutes ago, looking at the trivia page on IMDb for the film, that all the cast got a tattoo saying "Call on Me" after they finished making it, which I think is, I like that. I don't have anything else to say. The Penguin Lessons, universally positive ratings. I watched it in cinema. Steve Coogan, Jonathan Pryce. Um, I don't know. There's something about the trailer. Doesn't really seem like the kind of thing that I would want to watch, but I did, and it's quite enjoyable. It's very emotional, but it's also very funny. Um, I think Steve Coogan is very very funny when he's not being Alan Partridge. But I know that usually like comedians are like really good dramatic actors, but drink. Um, I didn't expect it from him. I know he played Jimmy Savile in that show a couple of years ago, but I've yet to watch it, so I don't know what he's like in it. I know absolutely nothing of the time period and place. For those who don't know, it's 1970s Argentina. Um, like I the whole thing of it is that going only off of what is seen in the film, what I think happens is that excuse me, there's a dictatorship in Argentina, and it's a fascist one. And when you have fascism, obviously socialism is going to rise to rebel against it. But all the socialists are being disappeared. And I thought this was just going to be like, that's just the background of the movie. It's based on a true story, so it's not like that's something you can just drop. So that's fine. I wouldn't say that it's making a comment about socialism being a good idea or anything like that. I was kind of thinking about 2 thirds of the movie that that's not what it is. It's just the background. But towards the end, I was kind of thinking that does kind of seem like the point. Not saying that it definitely is, though. That's just what it seems like. The Penguin kind of feels like he sort of takes like a backstep in this. Like he drives the plot forward without even being in the scene, and I think that if the film had a different title, it would have been seen as a bit strange. What is this film about? This guy who he he looks for some girl and he changes some lives around, and then there's a penguin all of a sudden. I'm going to actually call it The Penguin Lessons, which I do get that that's the name of the book, but having to call that makes it seem like the penguin is the whole focus of the movie, which it isn't. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think it's a good thing. I'm just gonna have to stop there. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry.